started, I'm just gonna talk a little bit about what self-care is and why it's important and that kind of stuff. But to start, I'll just introduce myself. So my name is Rosmina, and I'm an intern with TRIO this semester. So part of my requirements to graduate are doing an internship. So I really wanted to work with TRIO, and part of my requirements to get my credits for my internship are to present a workshop. So this is my first one, so just bear with me. I'm a human services major, and we talk a lot about self-care because we work with clients a lot, and sometimes we take things home with us that we shouldn't, and then they affect different parts of our lives. So we talk a lot about how we can take care of ourselves and how we can make sure that we don't burn out. So that's why I chose self-care as my topic. So how would you two describe self-care if you know anything about it?
I would say thinking about yourself while working with others. So, for example, I'm a waitress and there's always people complaining, but it's like never actually my fault. So like going back and like trying not to get mad at them for things that you know that aren't your fault. So like thinking about yourself is really important.
Yeah, that's good. Do you have any thoughts?
For me, it would be your health in general. So I know that finals are coming up very soon, and it's just taking care of yourself, making sure that everyone and everything around you isn't affecting you. So like, your job would be one of them.
Yeah.
School.
So it is being recorded. So just so you know. No, that's good.
Oh. Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay.
It's fine.
Okay.
So we're just sharing now what you know about self-care.
Okay.
So it's your turn.
So like, what I know about self-care is that like, I guess it matters more like what you want to do, kind of stuff that you want to do for yourself, like what you do for fun generally. Yeah, that's what your friends want to do, but what you want to do for fun. How do you take care of yourself? You know, going to the movies, like exercising at the gym, etc.
Okay. Any more thoughts?
Yeah.
No? Okay. So the way it was defined on a few different websites that I found is self-care is a personal health maintenance technique and includes any activity that involves the intention of improving mental, emotional, and physical health. So that can include exercising, that can include praying, it can include how you eat, it can include just taking a walk, anything. So to go into it a little bit more, physical self-care includes food, exercise, sleep, and medical care. So exercise can be allotting a certain amount of time a day or a week to go to the gym, or to do like a home workout, or to do yoga, or to go on a run or a walk. The food part is, I think, mainly about maintaining a healthy diet, or at least a healthy, just eating healthier. So a lot of times I think it's hard, especially as college students, to eat healthy when we're like, oh, I've been on campus since 8, it's already 2. Hello.
Self-care.
Yes. Just make sure you sign in, and it is being recorded. So you can go ahead and face me. But I'm going to face this way. So it's hard as college students when we're on campus all day to be able to eat healthy, especially when we have vending machines with not so healthy food, and only one vending machine with healthy food. And then we have like McDonald's and Taco Bell and stuff like that. So that can include like taking 20 minutes in the morning before you come to campus to make a lunch or to bring healthy snacks. You want to just pull up a chair? Here are some handouts. So it all just kind of depends on, It all just kind of depends on everybody's own personal thoughts around it. So for me, I try to bring a lunch and I try to bring like breakfast because breakfast is the most important meal of the day. So sleep, we are supposed to, as young adults, get 8 hours of sleep at night. That can be really hard, especially as you said with finals coming up. If we're cramming or if we have a final that's comprehensive, so that means around the whole semester instead of just like certain parts. It can be really hard when we want to just study so that we can get the best grades that are possible. And then medical care is just anything. If you are having too many headaches, or if you're having stomach aches, or if you just aren't feeling well, going to the doctor and getting checked out. Emotional self-care, that can include areas of meditation, relaxation exercises, counseling, and keeping a journal. So those also kind of depend on you. I think keeping a journal is helpful, so you can maybe like document things that happen each day, because they will change. And you can see like, oh, this day I had a really good day. What happened that day? This day wasn't as good. And then you can kind of do some comparisons and see what was working that day. And then they also have to do with the relationships that we have with people. So some of us might have maybe some friends or family members who take up a lot of our time, and sometimes we can't always control that, but it's keeping those healthy boundaries and engaging in reciprocal relationships. So that means not giving too much when you're not getting enough back, or somebody giving you too much and you can't give enough back because you're balancing work and school and your relationships, and if you have kids, and if you're married, and everything else that comes with that. So why is self-care important? So you kind of touched on it a little bit, but it's about just taking care of ourselves. We can't help others and we can't take care of others if we are not taking care of ourselves. So that's where we get burnt out, and that can be with school. If we're constantly at school and we're working, and then we go home and have to take care of people. We were just out all day and all night, and we can't take care of people as best as we can, right? And I think it's hard because people will think like, oh, I'm being selfish if I take an hour out of my day to be alone, even if it's taking a nap, if it's reading a book. But it's not about being selfish, because you want to be there for other people, so you want to be selfless. And so that involves sometimes being selfish and taking care of yourself. So it's also about balance. So sometimes we might devote too much time to one thing in our lives, and sometimes that's okay because that's the most important thing in our life, but we can't devote all of our time to that. We still have to take care of ourselves, and we still have to balance all the different responsibilities that we have. So in partners, or if you guys want to be groups, let's just talk about how you currently practice self-care, and then we'll come back together. If you three want to be a group, and then two.
For me,
So
watch all
say
TV basically, like with the gym
so
sometimes
I
too.
try to go and just like
Play with my dog,
for a walk or run at the gym.
go for a run or walk.
I'm really busy both
Sometimes to
times.
treat myself.
And I work, not a lot, but when I work, I actually like my job. So I feel like that's taking care of myself, where I'm in an environment where I like to be in. And then I have really good relationships. My family, my boyfriend, my friends.
I think I'm like currently trying to like self-care. It's hard because I'm a single parent, I'm a 3-year-old, and I go to school full time, so I'm kind of like trying to figure out that balance. But if I was to like do self-care, it's kind of like treating myself to something, like either get my nails done or my hair done or something like that. I'm just like hang out with my friends or something.
What I do is I exercise a lot, and I also listen to a lot of music. Depending on the music that I listen to, it really like either makes me really angry or sad or mad, but then there's other ones that really relax me.
I
Okay, so if somebody just wants to share maybe one thing that you all do for self-care, whoever can start.
I go for walks.
I hang out with my family. I will treat myself to something, like whether get my hair done, nails, or something.
So if you think, treat myself to something or hang out with friends.
Hang out with friends, exercise.
Those are all great. And do you guys feel like you are like more relaxed? I mean, depending sometimes if you hang out with friends, it can be more stressful than relaxing, but like treating yourself and taking walks and hanging out with family. Do you feel more relaxed? Like, oh, I cannot worry about school for an hour.
Yes.
Yeah. And then you go back and then you're like, okay, time to study. So that was a great hour of relaxing. Okay, so the next thing is I found a little self-care assessment. And so it shows you like a scale, you should all have one. And so this is just kind of to see like which areas you're really good at practicing self-care in. And then some areas that maybe you want to be better at or that can be improved or that maybe you don't do at all. So if you'll just take some time to fill it out. So, like I said, this is just kind of a way to see some areas that we maybe really engage in self-care and some areas that maybe we can engage more or we would like to engage more. And also it listed a ton of things that I've never even thought of. So it gave me some ideas too. So let's go share some ways that we do currently practice according to this. So it can be maybe physical self-care as a whole, or maybe some of the specific points listed. We can just share them as a group. Whoever wants to start.
I would say I do well on emotional self-care. I've gone to a few, they're not classes, but I've gone out of the country to some lectures on like how to improve yourself and your surroundings. So I learned a lot about myself, where I was doing wrong, and like why my relationships weren't working out and stuff like that. So I did really good on that, and I feel peace with that.
Are we just talking about what we're good at or what we need to do about?
Maybe some of the areas that you, so it can be like she said, the emotional self-care as a whole, or either some of the specific bullet points that we do well in right now.
For me, it would be the physical self-care. I wear clothes that I like, I take vacations, I do dance, walk, run, play sports. I give mental self-care, they need it, and pray with it.
I think for me, I do give workplace for professional self-care. Want to take breaks during the day, especially like an 8-hour working day. Also like to talk to my coworkers as well. But also like make quiet time for myself, just to complete my tasks that I need to complete. And yeah, I try to keep my space as comfortable as possible. I would definitely how I want it to, or sometimes I clear out, clean it up sometimes too. So it's not all jumped up or messy. So I'll take care of it. So that would
I think the workplace one is really important because we're all here to get a degree, to get a job. So that's one that we're gonna have to be able to maintain or to at least develop self-care practices forever.
Yeah.
So I think that one's really important, and it's good that you do on it already.
Yeah.
I guess for For me, it would be a spiritual sense. Only because I like to spend time outside with life and just really think about things.
I would say the emotional self-care. The spiritual, I kind of like struggle getting into the lines of meditating and praying, going to church and stuff like that. Kind of need to work on that a little bit more. But emotional, like go to therapy or some life skill classes. Part of where I live, they have life skill classes for like parenting and things like that. So, takes time away from my
Some of that alone time.
Yes.
Okay, so now let's share an area that maybe we want to work on that we aren't so good at.
For me, it would be physical. I don't really sleep. Yeah, I sleep around 3 to 4 hours a night.
Do you feel like tired when you're not sleeping, or is that just like something you're used to?
So I'll sleep and then I'll wake up and be up for 2 hours and go back to sleep. So during the day, I'm really tired. Just push through it.
Or maybe like relationships, like family, friends, just because I don't want to like make time to spend with them just because I'm also busy with school and work and more school and more work that I never get time. I never get time to just talk to people I care about and who I care about.
Mine is also physical. The not sleeping part. I guess I get a good amount of hours, but me working too much. I always want to get things done, even if I have time the next day. I want to get it done today. Tomorrow, but maybe balancing it out would be better.
Yeah, the balance of the prioritization. But then at least you have the next day to not do anything.
For me, it would be the spiritual and the emotional.
Are there any specific ones that you were like, whoa, I never thought about this, or maybe you have thought about it, but you want to do it more?
Like meditate. Tried it a couple of times. It's good. Maybe the right find time.
You said all of them.
I mean, I think there's always room for improvement in each one, but I would kind of say the psychological one. Self-care. I don't take any trips or anything. I would like to, but I'm scared of flying, so it's like a fear that so I think once I get over that, maybe I can just I'm thinking about taking a trip this summer to go to California, but I'll do the train. It's more, yeah. Until then, I would like to start being more, I guess, adventurous and out there a little, maybe, just to kind of explore different things. Stop being so home, at home and being close to home and homesick and all that.
Just being around what you're used to being around.
Yeah. Just getting rid of that.
All right, well, thank you all for sharing. So the next thing we're gonna do is talk about self-care goals and a self-care plan. So we all talked about some things that we do well right now with self-care, and then we talked about some things that we don't do so well. So maybe things we want to improve in. So with self-care goals, it's important to take it slowly. So don't just be like, oh, I don't exercise, so I'm gonna start going to the gym every day, starting tomorrow. That's not really realistic. So some things that I read was about going into it slowly. So maybe I'm gonna go twice this week, starting in a couple days. that you can mentally prepare for as well. But then also maybe look into some exercises online on YouTube or like on Pinterest or something like that, where you can get some ideas and then you don't show up to the gym and be like, I have no idea what I'm doing, and then you leave and then there goes that goal, right? So maybe starting like small. So maybe you're like, I want to read for 10 minutes a day, even if it's a magazine or if it's an article or a short story or something. And then when you're able to do that 10 minutes per day, then you just increase it to 15 or to 20. So when you get to a point where you're like, okay, this is realistic and I can actually do it, then you're setting your goals and you're meeting your goals. And the goals are important because what we do now, the habits that we create now, will continue on in the future. So when we're not sleeping or when we're not exercising or when we're not able to maintain relationships with people, that's going to affect us in the future. So right now and in the future. So if we're working too much, then we're probably going to continue to work too much. It's probably not something that we're going to stop doing without some practice and without some goals. So I found these little self-care plans. This is just how a blank one looks. So 3 different areas. The person who created it, this was his. So he just put some words or some little phrases in there. And then this is mine. So I'll go ahead and pass them around and then you guys can get an idea of them, of maybe what you want to put in yours. And then, yeah, I think you all have one. So I have some markers that you can use and just spend some time making your self-care plan. So it can be some of the things that we talked about that you would like to improve in, or it can be some of the things that you already do that you enjoy doing.
Can I use this?
couple minutes. Okay, so like everything else, we're just gonna go ahead and share. So this could be a time where you got some ideas from the assessment and you put them down in your self-care plan, but also as people are sharing, you might get some ideas too, so feel free to write them down as people are talking. And anyone can start.
For all three.
Yeah, just go ahead and share it as a whole. You don't have to share everything.
For mine, I put relax, read, take a nap, watch TV. Spirit, I put go outdoors, pray, laugh, sing, hang out with friends. Body, I put drink H2O, sleep, gym, healthy.
And then if you want to share maybe like one supportive person in your life.
For my parents, and then I want to accomplish graduation and balance.
Thanks for sharing.
So I put for mind, music, meditation, singing, TV, therapy, writing, poetry, organization, local planner. For body, I put eating healthy, exercising twice a week, water, vitamins, and yoga. Spirit, I put church, friends, deep breathing, laughing, and praying. Supportive people, my daughter, my grandma, niece and nephew, advisors. What I want to accomplish is graduating with my bachelor's in the spring of 2017, retire sleep and human services. Complete my 2 years master's degree in social work and balance and how peace is development.
Human services, we hear about self-care a lot.
Yes,
That's my major too. I'm like, I'll talk
Very
about
friendly,
this.
So for mine, I put being mindful, learning new things, listening to music, and having fun, also taking breaks. For spirit, I put down meditation, socialization, self-reflection, and just chill out sometimes. Then for body, I put drink water, exercise, go sunbathing, go outside, and get at least 8 hours of sleep.
Just want to share the supportive people and your want to accomplish.
So most important people, just my whole family in general, and also my coworkers here on campus. And then for what I want to accomplish, I want to accomplish forming more relationships with others, making new friends, and also spend more time reading and become better at managing my time.
Thank you. I made another one while you guys were working, and I even changed some things. So for me, I want to, mine is read, watch TV, and music. Watching TV relaxes me, and I'm like, then I'm just worrying about other people's issues, or I'm like laughing and not have to worry about my own. And then body, eat healthy and in moderation. So my problem is I like to eat a lot. So that in moderation part was added. Sleep, so that could be just like taking a nap when I have some free time and not just like full 8 hours of sleep at night because that is hard. And then spirit is connect with others, time to relax, and alone time. I want to accomplish graduating in December, so just waiting to get there. Success, happiness, peace, and control. And supportive people in my life are my parents, my brothers, and 3 of my really best friends. So I know if I had like something going on right now, I could just text any of them and somebody would be on the phone with me in 5 minutes. So that's helpful.
For mine, I put down writing in a journal. I never really thought about that. Reading, organizing, taking more vacations, and asking for help when needed. For the body, sleeping is a big one for me. Eating healthy, drinking more water, not for myself, so I want to take a massage. For the spirit, I put down like disconnecting from technology, just going out more and just focusing on myself. My support is my family, and what I want to accomplish is graduating and crossing 4 things off of my bucket list. So skydiving, going on more trips.
I put in mind, I love myself. The body, I put get moving more. Of course, with supportive people, I put my loves, which are my little people. In the spirit, I put being myself and saying no more. And then things I want to accomplish is being a better me.
Great. Thank you guys for sharing. So this is for the assessment and the self-care planner for you all to take home. So you can always add things to them, and also I have extras if you want to take some and maybe change it if you're like, oh, I've been sleeping more, or I've been spending more time with my kids, whatever it is, and then you want to add something different, or I'm going to take some things off, just let me know and I can give you some copies. So let's just go around and say one takeaway that you got today from the workshop.
There's a lot of things that go into taking care of yourself. It's not just physical. Usually people are just, oh, lose weight, gain weight. It's not the only thing that goes into healthy.
I would say like making self-care a priority. I don't think we kind of put that on the back burner first. Be responsible for those and try to be Superwoman, Superman to get things done. And I find that I do that a lot, like taking care of everybody except for myself. So I think I need to I have boundaries now that are created, so I don't feel overwhelmed. So I have the ability to say no and no, I can't do this. Like I have this to do. And I think it bothers people now because I can just say that, like, oh, I got a scholarship that's due right now, like, or I'm working on school stuff. So I take advantage of it because I'm like, maybe that's just my only excuse right now. So let me throw that out there so that they know it's important and leave me alone. Because I can't save everybody and I can't be there for everybody, so I have to kind of take a step back and just kind of say, let me take this time for myself and like sit back and just let them figure it out for themselves. Stop trying to feel like I have to.
And it takes a while to get to that point.
Yeah.
It sounds easy, but it's not easy. So at least you're at that point now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, just to add on to that, it's very important to at least have 1 hour to yourself every day, or a week, or whatever it is, just that time for yourself. Like you said, you don't have just 2 hours, we're not, it's what we have a point of break. We have to make sure that we have something to back us up.
I guess for me, like definitely having more balance in your life to be able to put any equal amount of time and effort into every aspect of your life, like family, friends, things you enjoy doing, just kind of balance.
actually putting the time into the day to take time to self-care.
So the last thing is, if you guys can log into computers, there's a survey on, an evaluation on the desktop of your computers. And then if you want any of these extra handouts that I have, just let me know and I can give you some.
We get one each of doing.
The plan and the assessment. Yeah.